In the meantime, between time, no, I'm not even gonna try to do it how you gonna do it.
Old school DJ Willpower.
It is the willpower hour though, so we wanna welcome Will Packer. I won't even get into his government name or all the nicknames we have for him, DJ Willie P, everything else. So we're just gonna sit the Will Packer.
That could do that, Mr. Brown. You can come in. You knew me when, so you know the names before I was making this stuff back here. You knew me when I was just a youngster on the campus of the highest of the 7 hills. Now, even when I was a youngster, I was still your big brother. So,
That's right. That's right. Always.
There you go.
Always.
Bam, you in the house.
Always my big brother, which I appreciate your guidance, brother.
Yes, sir.
But we are here today talking about perseverance with Will Packer. I always put that extra P in there for you. You know what that is about. But we're so thankful to have you. We're talking about perseverance. As you know, this is part 2 of a discussion we had your partner in crime, Rob Hardy, on for part 1. I know you got limited time. Shout out to Rob Hardy. I know you have limited time, and we're so thankful to have you with your busy schedule. As I told Rob, we're so proud of you and him and everything that you all are doing, not only in the sense of professionally, but also what you all are doing to just build community, raise community, and the wonderful work you're doing as a husband, as a father, as a community builder. So if I don't get a chance to say it before this short time is over, love you, proud of you. We could crack jokes for the next 10 minutes, but I'm not going to do that because the world doesn't want to hear me and you rail on each other. We can do that later.
They might. That's good content too. Thank you, brother. Listen, I love you back, and I just want to say I appreciate this platform. I appreciate the opportunity to come in and talk and have, a needed conversation, a serious conversation. We're in some interesting times, so I know we'll get into it, but I just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to come in and chat with you, brother.
Amen. So, Pat, let's jump on in, man. This is about perseverance. At the core of this, you all, I'm speaking about you and Rob, you all started something amazingly ambitious at FAMU. You both had your paths to get there. I always brag on you all of having a background plan that is more specifically sound than most, right? You're an electrical engineer by education. One of those cum laudes, I might have graduated, thank you, Lord. I did pretty good, but you definitely graduated way better than thank you, Lord. That's an amazing experience. But you guys went through some challenging, tough times, not only at FAM, but also in your path leaving FAM, and you persevered. And I want to talk a little bit about that. As you know, there are a lot of brothers that have ambitious goals, plans, vision for their family, and they're just trying to figure out how to move forward. And so I want to talk about a little bit about your path, man. Tell us about the path from there to here.
It is before I was on red carpets and doing cool movie premieres with stars. I was a kid with a dream at an HBCU, and I can't emphasize that enough because there's somebody watching this right now that's maybe not where they want to be in life, and it's sometimes hard to see the path. Like, it's easy to look at where somebody is and not appreciate the journey. And for me, my path was not like this straightforward path. I didn't know anybody in Hollywood. That wasn't something that my family had a name, or a pedigree that meant something in that space. We were creating it as we went along. Made a lot of mistakes, did a lot of things wrong, did some things right, obviously. But you know what it was, John? Along the way, there was this feeling that even though we know we don't know what we don't know, and we know that we don't have a lot of money, resources, contacts, connections, we believe in us. And that is something that I say that is so important when you think about, especially for Black men, and you look at the way that our society tells Black men what their worth is, right? And as we know, society doesn't put Black men on a pedestal and say, oh, you're the greatest. Your worth is, beyond, is above average. No. We're constantly dealing with the fact that in order for someone to kneel with the full force of their weight on somebody's neck for nearly 9 minutes, you have to already see that person as less than human, right?
That's right. That's
Either
right.
less than human or superhuman. And the reality is that we're neither. We're human, right? So
Right.
the challenge is that you got to have this unwavering belief in self. And that's really that's where my journey takes hold and where my journey begins. And ultimately where it's going to end is a belief in self. No matter what other people thought, no matter what Hollywood thought, because Hollywood wasn't checking for me at the beginning,
Right.
Financiers weren't checking for me. Actors weren't checking for me. But I was checking for me. We were checking for ourselves. We believed in ourselves. And we took whatever we could get our hands on and made the best of it. And initially that was Chocolate City, our little first movie that we made at FAMU when, we didn't know much about much. And, we didn't have film degrees or pedigree or a lot of money or equipment, but we shot a little tiny movie. Nobody in Hollywood cared, but they cared at FAMU. The audience that we made it for, they cared. They said, oh, this is us on the screen. We can see us. And I'll never forget being at the world premiere of Chocolate City in Lee Hall Auditorium on the campus of Florida University. And we had invited all these Hollywood folks, and we had saved seats in the front row for them, and none of them came. Not one big Hollywood person showed up. But every other seat in that auditorium was packed. Standing room only. And so it told me I'm not making movies for the front row. I'm making them for everybody else. That was a true lesson about what my journey ultimately was going to be and who I was making my content for.
I think the blessing of that also, Pac, is the focus, right? The ability not to focus on those X amount of chairs in the front row, but to see the blessing of all of that support behind that, right? And in Lee Hall, to give somebody a visual, not only do you have the rows of the rolling rows on that floor level, but you also have that top level where you can see all of that also. So that's a blessing in that.
That's right.
Let it just be clear and remind you that there are moments where I held lights in the freezing cold outside of a liquor store.
Yes.
And if I ever need to send an invoice for my time, I just need to make sure that's clear.
It's far too late for that, sir. Okay, that those services have been
the statutes of limitation have passed.
Time served, brother. I will. I get you some free tickets to Ride Along 3. Okay, that's pretty much where you at. But make no mistake,
I'm good.
But can I say something? I'm good. In all seriousness, though, I don't get to where I am in my career without having a village around me. So.
Absolutely.
When I have such an amazing jovial relationship, but you bring up something that's very important. Like, it's not like I did this by myself. Rob Hardy and I did it by ourselves. Nobody, I don't care who it is. You point to a star, a producer, somebody that's successful in any industry, not just Hollywood. There are a team of people around them that lifted them up and believed in them and allowed them to have the level of success that we see. So make no mistake, be very careful about who you put around you, how they affect your mental health, how they believe in you and support you and give you confidence, because you're only as strong as the people around you. And that's something that we forget. We forget the value of the village. Without a village, you will not be successful. I don't care how talented you are. I don't care the level of resources you have. You put the wrong people around you. And this, you don't have to be like, chasing some Hollywood dream. This could be every day in your everyday life. Look around you. Who is around you? Are they bettering you? Are they good for your mental health? Are these people that deserve to be in your space? I don't think we talk about that.
Agreed. I tell you something that you should know. I know you're a busy, man. There are a lot of people, to your point, that are checking for you now as you're, doing your thing. But what the real Packer I know, even that I know and knew, even in that moment while I'm holding some lights in the freezing cold, I felt like I was a part of something. I think that's a testament to who you and Hardy are in the sense of people, right? You all were constantly touching people, and I'm not talking about in a negative way, right? I'm talking about you're constantly engaged, right? Not just surface level, like you're really involved, engaged, and I think anybody there felt like they were part of something that was moving forward. And that's a testament to who you all are. And I'm sure, while I'm not able to be on the set and be in the boardroom and see these deals done, I'm sure because like Hardy, you are the person that I knew then. And that's a blessing, man. Everybody doesn't have that ability to stay so consistent and just be grounded in who they are.
We are who we are. We are who we are. We are who we are broke. We are who we are with money. We are who we are with fame. We are who we are with friends. You are who you are when nobody's looking. That's who you are, And so never compromise that. Be true to that. And again, this isn't just a something that I'm saying if you are, going to be in the public eye. This is true with your family at home, with your significant other, with your children. Like, be who you are when nobody's looking. Be honest about who that person is, because that's who you really are. And then we can all do some work on it. I'm not saying you got to be perfect. We're going to all make mistakes. We all fall short. But be very aware that when you are, blessed enough to live whatever life you live, and when you leave this earth, people are going to remember, as the great Maya Angelou said, how you made them feel. People are going to remember your legacy is not just going to be about, a bunch of accomplishments, whatever it is you may do in your life, whatever I've done in mine. It's going to be about how you treated people. It's going to be about how people felt when they left your presence. And so for me, I've always tried very hard to make sure that people around me feel like they're part of a team, and the best team, a winning team. That's my motivational mantra, is that we are the best. We will continue to be the best. We are the best because of the people that are a part of this team, not because of me, but because of me, you, like together we can do anything. To me, that's how I believe that you motivate people.
You said broke, right? We didn't all have the resources, and that's a blessing to be where we were in school. That wasn't the focus. That wasn't our capital, right? But you and Hardy persevered and moved forward and built on what you had, what you worked on. I still have my cream chocolate city shirt that Letitia tries to every now and then push out the door, but that and she realizes that means something to me.
You got an old Chocolate City shirt. You got an old Chocolate City shirt from '94. Listen, don't let Letitia, don't let your amazing wife, Mrs. Brown, don't let her wash it. Don't let her dry it. Don't do none of that. That thing is going to fall apart. I'm telling you now. Yeah. That is an amazing piece of nostalgia that is very cheap, John. I'm just going to tell you. We could only afford to buy those in bulk, all right? Those are about the cheapest shirts you could get. Our old Chocolate City T-shirts that we sold.
Oh, Lord.
Listen, we bought them for like 30 cents a shirt and then sold them for $10 per on campus. Listen, I was always an entrepreneur. Make no mistake.
Own it.
Keep that shirt. You are rich. See, you go back, dog. You a day one. You are a day oneer, my brother.
30 cents. 30 cents a shirt. I'm not even going to talk about that. Let's get back to the perseverance, right? You all had a path, and you didn't let anything stop you. Hardy even shared and uncovered some nuggets that I didn't even know. I mean, he told me about the lawn care, servicing that he was doing, and the call center servicing that you were doing. I knew you all were doing janitorial work in some way, shape, or form. I had no idea it was at the shoe show. I didn't know that. But it definitely speaks to, we're on a path, we believe in ourselves. And again, need to remind the world you have an electrical engineer and a mechanical engineer doing very well. You could have chosen many paths to follow, and you chose this path. For all the empty seats in the front row packed, for all the no's and doors closed, how did you all keep it moving? How did you keep it moving forward?
That's faith right there. That's faith, because you're going to get told no way more than yes in life, in careers, in your journey. It doesn't matter, right? So I'm not immune to that. I'm no exception. We got told no so many times, brother, especially when you're first starting off. People love to tell you what you can't do. That's just. Absolutely.
Every day.
That's not something that started with the advent of social media. That's something people have been doing for a while. That's just, call it haters or critics or whatever. People can always tell you what you're not good at, right? You want to get humble. Go ask, people around you, hey, what don't I do well? How much time you got? You know what I mean? They go sit down and give it to you. Now, here's the thing. There's nothing necessarily wrong with that if it's coming from a place of love and honesty, if it's not just like hating on you to be hating. But the thing you got to do is every morning, and I do this to this day, every morning, sit up, look in the mirror, tell yourself what you do right. Tell yourself how strong you are, what your skill sets are, that you're capable, that you're enough, that you're ready for this day, whatever it entails. You're ready for this life, this job, this family. You got it. Tell yourself you got this. Because the whole rest of the day, you're going to get beaten down. The whole rest of the day, you're going to be constantly reminded that you don't have all those things you just told yourself. So gird yourself up first. And I try to do this every morning. Tell myself, you got this, Packer. I have these conversations with myself. I encourage others to do that as well. That's how. You asked the question about how you persevere past all the negativity and all the no's and all the disappointments that inevitably life is going to be about. Look, we're in the middle right now of the most challenging year in the history of this generation, certainly, right? I mean, you would be hard pressed to find another time, and I pray there isn't another one before we all leave this earth that's as rough as this one. 2020 has been something, my brother, on all of us. It's taken a toll on all of us, right? But we're still here. We're blessed to be here, those of us that are. Those that did not make it, those that aren't here, we need to carry on. We need to carry on the legacy. We got to have confidence in ourselves that it's going to get better. I tell people all the time, it's going to get better, I promise. I promise you it's going to get better. I promise you. I know it. I feel it. I have faith. That faith is what has carried me through to this point where now I am, been in the game for decades now, 3 decades, I guess.
Wow.
And yeah, I've been in the game for a minute, probably 2.5 decades, maybe 25 plus years. And, it shows me that at the end of the day, you don't know what tomorrow may hold, but you can get prepared for it. You don't know what it's going to be. You don't know what's going to happen, but it's up to you. You can't control what's going to happen tomorrow, but you can control how prepared you are for it.
Indeed. You, if you didn't know, and you do know, because we've talked about this before, Black Men's Health is not just about, physical health, or not just about spiritual health, financial health, social health, mental health. All of those things we believe make up the whole man in this holistic approach. You're busy. You're busy, Pat, right? I can look up and see you or communicate with you, and you're on this coast in 1 minute, and which has happened, and then I look up and the next day you're on this coast. This happens all the time. At the core of this for Black Men's Health, we are doing our best to create a space and mechanisms and process and procedures and content to help create more balance through health for men of color, right? You're a busy brother. People are pulling you all the time. What are you doing to create balance in your life in all of those respects? I'm not talking financially. You're doing pretty well for yourself. We're very proud of you in that. But you also, again, you got a beautiful family. You got kids in certain spaces and doing their thing in life. A beautiful woman at home. You got to keep up. How are you creating balance for yourself? How are you finding success in that, Pat?
It's a good question. I spent a lot of time thinking about it, JB, to be honest with you, that work-life balance, especially when it comes to that mental health. And as Black men, we don't talk about it enough. That's why this forum is so important. We don't talk about the depression, the anxiety, the stress, I've been fortunate that I haven't had major mental health setbacks, but I know people very close to me that have. And I know how serious it is and how real it is. And I know that if I'm not careful, it could happen to me. And it may not be something I can control, right? It's not a weakness, first of all. Let's just be honest about that.
Right.
This world in which we live takes a toll, and we acknowledge it in all the other ways. We acknowledge that, if I eat poorly, I'm gonna, gain weight, or if I don't, if I don't connect with God, my spiritual health will wane. Your mental health is so important, and we don't take time to water our mental gardens, so to speak, to use that analogy.
Right.
For me, I have started doing meditation, and over the course of the past maybe 6 months, probably longer, a little bit longer, my wife has been on me about doing it. And I'm the type of person, like you said, I'm go, 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 go. I'm like, baby, I don't have time. I don't have time to sit and do nothing for 10 minutes. Like,
Right.
you do nothing, just sit and just like be alone with my thoughts. I don't want to be alone with them. I'm running from my thoughts all day so I can stay busy and keep, working on these projects, right? But the reality is that you got to give why wouldn't you give yourself 10 minutes? What's more important than your mental health, right? So
Right.
meditation is something that for me, it helps me kind of center my thoughts, think about what I'm going to do that day, think about, even like my breathing techniques, how I'm going to attack the world. It helps to lessen some of the anxieties inevitably that I may feel as I go and have to do whatever the challenges are in my personal and work life. So meditation has definitely helped. Also, making sure that I'm not just, and this is something that I have gotten better with over time. I'm not just like focused. I get one of the things that I do well is that I have a tremendous work ethic, right? So you're not going to outwork me.
Tremendous.
That I wouldn't be where I am without it. Whatever it takes, I don't care if it's like, you know what? Everybody else is asleep at 3:30 a.m. If that's when I can get up and get ahead, guess what? I'm setting that alarm and I'm getting up because I got to beat whoever it is I'm up against. So that's never been a problem for me. But the other side of that is that sometimes I don't give enough balance and enough time to other aspects. So I get to work and work and work on whatever it is I'm focused on. I get so intensely focused, doing well, saying, great, look at what I did in this area. But these other areas, I didn't spend much time with because I was so focused on one. I've always tried to have a work-life balance, but I could do better with that. I've always said that if I was less of a father, I'd be a better producer. If I was less of a producer, I'd be a better father. If I was less of either of those, I'd be a better husband. Like, it's all a balance. You can't do everything, but you got to make sure you're watering all the plants in the garden. You can't just water one section, the section that everybody sees, the section that makes the money or gets the accolade. Like, you got to water all the plants in the garden. And your own mental well-being is one of those plants that you have to water. And for me, like I said, taking some time to meditate, 10 minutes a day, 15 minutes a day, whatever it is, just taking a moment for quiet, breathing, time for just me, nobody else, not the wife, not the kids, not the career, just me, is very important. I still don't do it as much. I still fall into my old habits of, I got someplace to be. I got to do this, got to do that. I'm busy, but I'm doing better with it. So that's something that has worked well for me.
Well, even having the knowledge to your point, know what you know and know what you should be doing is valuable in the sense of even identifying that so you can get better at that. I'm going to be respectful of your time. We're going to wrap it up, but I have two questions, Pat. One,
Make
there
good,
is a Will
Give them to me, dog. Come on, what you got?
So there's a Will Packer walking around some campus or not, right? Because you and I know, even with the value of the education, that's not the only path, right? But there's a Will Packer, young Will Packer, in spirit, in mood and mode, walking around, and he's trying to figure it out, or she's trying to figure it out, right? So I want to know, for you going back, like you said, 25 plus years, what would you provide advice to them, knowing what you know now as Will Packer? And also, I want to hear, because it's always wonderful anytime we see you, you're like, yeah, Jon, Letitia, love you. Hey, but don't forget, in the next couple of days, next couple of weeks, next couple of months, see these movies, right? So you give us our homework to do, which we definitely keep up with it. We want to hear about what you got going on next, man. And before I forget to say it, that movie, The Photograph, was, brilliant. Like one of my favorite movies ever. And I'm a movie watcher, so that movie was amazing. So anyway, back to the two questions.
Yeah. Young Will Packer, or the next generation of Will Packer, next iteration, maybe I should say. You are enough. That's what I would say. You are enough. Okay. We don't tell ourselves that enough. We don't acknowledge that enough. I wondered, coming up in the game from FAMU to then being a young filmmaker, trying to get Hollywood to notice me. Am I enough? Do I have what it takes? And the answer ultimately is yes, but not because they told me, but because I tell me. So tell yourself that.
Amen.
You are enough. That's what I would say to the young Will Packer, the next generation of, successful entrepreneur, filmmaker, what have you. You are enough. You got to believe it first. You believe it first. You believe that you have what it takes, and that will become a self-fulfilling prophecy in the most positive of ways.
Hang on, Hang on. Attached to that, it should not be lost on anybody, is the work that you put in after you believe that, after you have that belief, that that mental strength. You got to put in the work, right? That's the one thing that should not be lost. You have always done that. I have followed certain things at FAMU, following you, including a homecoming chair, and my God, the shoes I needed to fill to get done what was done previously. By the way, we killed it. I believe Dr. Billy Robinson was treasurer, and I think we took home about 10 grand in cash at the door, as well as Luke came.
That's huge.
Luke came to that party also, and I was called on the microphone because there was a activity happening on the stage that needed to be paused, but work needs to be put in, and that's definitely something you've done.
Deacon Brown, does your current congregation, are they aware of your involvement with Mr. Campbell's entertainment? Never mind. Don't answer that. I just want to know. I know you're a good church-going brother. I don't know if you've announced that on a Sunday during the announcement.
Balance. It's about balance. It's about balance.
Always about balance, baby. I got a bunch of stuff popping right now. Yeah, I'm shooting. It's a pandemic, so it's difficult, but we are shooting. I'm shooting the next season of Ready to Love. I have a new show for OWN that's called Put a Ring on It. It imagines what happened, not imagines, but it takes couples that have been together forever. So we all know people that have been dating forever but never got married, right? So we take these couples who have been together forever, and they got 30 days to date other people, okay? 30 days that they have to date other people. And at the end of that 30 days, they have agreed they will either finally get married or break up for good. That's the deal, okay? So it's a social experiment. We're going to see how it goes.
Yeah, it is a social experiment.
Pray for these people because, it gets interesting. So that's called Put a Ring on It. It airs on OWN probably later this fall. Ready to Love is a dating show I have on OWN that does very well. And we're shooting that. Everybody's in a bubble that we took everybody to a resort. We rented out a resort and everybody is there. And we have all these single people on this resort, and we're going to see if they can find love or find something. I just shot a pilot for I have a new show. It's called Night School, based on my movie Night School with Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish. So we're in the process of that.
Hilarious.
I have a movie called Praise This, which is a gospel choir competition movie. And it's choirs that perform, but they do a hybrid of gospel and hip hop, and they do full-blown performances, and it's a competition.
Wow.
I've got a movie that I'm doing with Idris Elba that we're going to shoot in South Africa next year, and it's called I haven't even announced it, so this is an exclusive. It's called Beast, and Idris Elba and his daughters end up trapped on safari in Africa with a man-eating lion hunting them. So that's going to be interesting. So I'm all over the place, JB. You know that. I'm doing fine.
Idris Elba, as I also call the Black Hulk. The Black Hulk.
Black Hulk. Yes, my guy, Big Driss. He's, he and I have done a bunch of movies together. So
yes, you have.
I like to work with people who I know and who I like, and that's everybody kind of you gravitate to people that you have a good thing with. But it just so happens that some of my closest friends in the business are also, I think, some of the most talented, frankly.
His work in Takers is amazing. That's another one of my favorites right there, Takers.
We've been trying to figure out how to do like a Takers prequel. We killed everybody at the end.
Right. Can't go that way. You got to go that way.
Right. T.I. hits me on that maybe like every other month. Like, bro, what's up with this T.I. with this Takers prequel? I'm like, all right, man.
Origin. They want the origin stories about that. That's good. That's good.
Takers is a cult classic, man. If you haven't seen Takers, go check it out. It's I'm proud of that one.
I love it. Hey, man, thank you. Make sure that I let you and Hardy know Still got materials in my storage place from Troyes, so I need to mail that to the office and get it out of my home.
No, it does good. It's
But again,
best in
man,
your home. You need that Troyes material in the background. Tell Letitia she's welcome. All right, just keep it there in the background. You know, tell her don't wash that Chocolate City shirt though.
right. I'll pass that along, man. Hey, we love you. Again, we're proud of you. We appreciate watching your path. Continue to do what you're doing, man, and we'll keep you in our positive thoughts and prayers always.
Thank you, family. I love you, brother. Thank you for this opportunity, family. Take care.
All right, brother. Peace. Respect.
Respect.